Hello and welcome! Today we're going to make this little pendant and we're going to do that with the best of cuts available in the workshop. Here we have some wood. It's olive wood left over from a commission we did last week, and we will use a chuck and a chuck key. Every workshop has a corner, and in that corner is all kinds of offcuts with little pieces of wood that are too small to use actually, but the wood is too beautiful not to use. Look at that, that's a piece of olive. Oh, look at here. Look at the beauty of this piece of olive wood. We're going to make a pendant that is about 50 millimeters wide or something like that. So we'll cut off a piece here that's just a bit wider than 50. There we go. That'll do. And now we will use another offcut here to press this piece of wood against one offcut against the other.
Nice.
And we'll make it 50 mils. It's held only by friction, so it could be that it starts to make a little bit of noise. That kind of noise I meant. One and a half millimeter to go. $50 and a little bit.
Great.
Just one frog's hair we gotta take off and then it's done. So that's it. That is going to be the size of the pendant. Okay. Next step, we'll make our chuck. And the chuck we make will be a little piece of ash or any kind of waste that you have laying around in your workshop. And we're going to make this piece round also, and we make it round so that it fits a chuck with big jaws. This is 85 millimeters, so we're going to make this piece 85 millimeters round. We do that the same way. Eyeball it in the middle, and if it is approximately more or less in the middle of the wood, there we go. Grab a gouge and there we go.
The wood is 40.
It's not fun. Yes, it's not completely flat all. So it's the sound that the friction makes. It's only you, Lise, that thinks that the wood is farting, nobody else. That must be about 85 millimeters. Let me check for a minute. Great. And as you heard, it's not completely flat yet. So let's make it flat on both sides. Other side. Flat. Here we have a center point, and that's exactly the place where we're going to drill a hole. And after that, we're going to drill a hole on the other side that's not in center. And now I watch and I see that the grain is running this direction. So on the other side, I drill just out of center. Let's say there. And now we're going to the bandsaw and make a cut in there. And finally, after a long walk, we arrived at the bandsaw. And then we walk all the way back to the lathe to see that this fits in the chuck exactly. And we see in the center now a hole, and this goes in perfectly. How do we call that, Lise?
A snug fit.
A snug fit. So we'll put it in like that. And the idea here is then, of course, is that the chuck moves the hole a little bit, and therefore it clamps without it getting damaged. So now, chuck, snug fit. It's an offcut. It came straight off the bandsaw, so I'm pretty sure that it hasn't even thickness everywhere. So let's make it the same thickness on every spot of the piece of wood. And just to be sure, let's do this on the other side also. back to this side because there's our center hole, and we will start this thing with a little hole in the middle. I need to know the thickness now, and it is 4.5 mil. 4.5 millimeters. So, let's make the grooves on the back side of our pendant. To do that, I grounded myself it's made from an old Dutch chisel, made in Holland, but I never use it, so I made a very thin point on the tip, and I am going to resharpen it and make it a bit shorter, because this is 4.5 millimeter, so I have to go in just over 2 millimeters from both sides. Meaning this part can be a little bit thinner, smaller and shorter. Let's go to the grinder. Let's see what we have. We have now a tip that is 1 millimeter wide, and it is long 2.5 millimeters. Now the difficult part starts. Don't do this on a Monday morning after a weekend with friends and wine, but wait until the Wednesday the alcohol is out of your body. There we go, with a very little scraper, starting in the middle. One more? Nah, leave it. I think I will leave it like this. Because if we make the edge over here very thin, it also might break out easily. So, well, let's leave it like this. So this, of course, is olive wood. And olive wood is very dense wood. If you can do it with any kind of wood, but if the wood is dense, then of course it is much easier to do it, because you're going in scraping and the lines are very thin. If you want to do it on, let's say, birch or something, you can't do it like this. If you want to do it, then use a hardener. This is a very thin liquid with lots of solvents. It soaks into the wood and the whole thing gets hard, and then you can do the same thing here with birch or spruce or any kind of softwood. Okay, let's do a little bit of sanding. I start sanding with 320 grit straight away. And then to finish it, I take a little bit of sanding polishing paste. To get a nice shine on the surface.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it's the compressor.
Mooi.
And take the polishing paste out. Now we're going to flip the wood around and we're going to flip the jam jug around. It was in it like this. Now we're going to flip this around and flip this around and put it in like that. Back in the jug. And now I see that my jam jug is a bit higher than this piece. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take a little bit off my jam jug. Bit more. Don't rush on this part. Be calm. You see it is eccentric now, and this part over here, the brown spot, of course, is this little part. So our first cut will be somewhere here. There we go. So let's see how far we are. I didn't do some proper measurements yet, but you see here and here that the grooves on the back of the pendant and the grooves on the front of the pendant, that they touch each other. And then I can look through. But it's only on 2 lines, so I have to go a little bit deeper. One more cut. It's famous last words. I think it was this one. But just to be sure. And sand the little thing. Sanding you don't do with the skew. and sand the edges. It's just a bit of 320 paper. The other side. The other side. Bit of polishing paste again. That is nice and smooth. And finally, if you want to wear it as a necklace, we have to have a hole in there. A drill and my drilling machine. First make a little bit of a center hole. Therefore I use my skew just to make a slight start for the drill. And there goes my drilling machine.
No, really.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Take the chuck key and then I can take it out. Spray a little bit of dust away.
Very nice.
Wood as jewelry. It's perfect actually, because you don't need a lot of money to buy your girl or your man something nice. You just need time. Anyway, make your own, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.